So I'm going to start documenting the build of this sailboat that I've designed. It's going to be a catamaran, roughly 23 to 24 foot and just under 10 foot wide. It's going to have asymmetrical hulls with the leeward side of the hulls being vertical to prevent slippage. If it does slip, I can add lee boards or something, but as of now, that's how I'm going to make it. I'm picking up a little late. I've started making one of the hulls, and we're just going to start filming from that point. And then for the second hull, you'll get a better idea of how I started the first hull once I start making that one. So it is a catamaran, as I said. It's a catch rig. The front sail is going to be a Hobie sail and Hobie rigging, and then I'm going to make the aft sail. There's going to be a few design changes from this model that I made. The bottom of the hulls are going to taper up towards the deck just to make it less boxy looking, and the deck is also going to be raised half a foot. I'll give you a better picture or a better video of the model itself so it can make some more sense, so you can get a better view. It's going to be 4.5 foot of room inside the cabin, except for in the halls. In the halls, there'll be standing headroom. On this side, forward in the cabin, there will be a small head. This side, there will be a kitchenette area. And then the two back sides of the halls will be single berths. So I'll give you a panoramic view of the model, and then I'll show you some of the boat. It's a very simple model, but it'll hopefully give you the gist of it, the idea. It's very boxy and not super aesthetically pleasing, but there's some compromises there. I wanted full standing headroom. If I tapered the cabin in, you would not have any full standing headroom in the boat without making it very tall. So I want to be able to stand in the halls with my head in the cabin. I didn't want to go much over 23 foot, so there's going to be a small deck, 5 foot deck forward, and then the cockpit will be 7 feet by 10 feet. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm losing, or forgetting, but there's the asymmetrical hulls design. I'm going to make 2 air-cooled Briggs & Stratton outboards for each hull. And yeah, so here is, I've started construction on the first hull. It's going to be plywood core with glass on each side. So right now I'm trying to loft in, I guess loft's not the correct term, pull in the fronts and get them together to create the front of the hull. And then I have to join a couple more pieces of plywood for the bottom of the hull here. Right now they're just fiberglass together, and I'll show you how I did that when I do this last piece that I need to make for the bottom of, and I'll show you a little bit of what I'm working on. But this video is mainly just to describe what I'm doing, show you what I'm doing. So it's going to be a long project, and hopefully one day it will be done, but I'm just going to keep trucking along on it. Here's a look inside the hull. The stern here is that there'll be a berth here in the stern. Alright. Alright, so for the outer side of the boat, the vertical side, I made this little bracket that you can slide back and forth on the strong back to bring in that side of the hull slightly. And then for this side, I'm bending it over. I've removed some material on the bottom, and then I'm using a clamp to pull the two together. I cut the angle on the hull here, and then I'm going to add a piece in here. I have it attached to this side. I'm going to screw it into the other side to hold the two pieces together, and then I can remove the clamp and then cut that side of the hull to match that piece of plywood. And then I'll come back and cut that side down, taper it down to match this side of the hull here. So the hull will slightly taper down in the front.
So here, now that I got the two panels screwed together, I'm gonna remove this clamp on the bottom. Then I can cut this piece off of this hull to match the other side. So I brought the edges in. I'm going to hand plane or use a planer to bring in this to a point before fiberglassing. Then I got to put 3 pieces of plywood together. I'm going to lay them out here and join them edge to edge to make one piece. I'm going to glass each side. I'll show you that. And that piece is going to go on the bottom of the hull here. These pieces right there are just scrap that I laid up there to see what it would look like. So I'll show you that. Once that part is put on the hull, it'll be time to do some finishing work and then fiberglass it.
So on the front of the boat here, I've got a little gap about 1/8 of an inch. And I don't want to pull it together with screws or wire because I'm going to come back with an electric planer and put an edge on this before fiberglassing. And so what I'm going to do, there's also a gap, there's this board in here pulling the 2 pieces together, and I'm going to fill that gap with expanding foam, and that'll allow me to shape this and fill in this gap here, and then it'll also prevent water from getting in that little pocket when it's all finished. So I'm going to fill this up
with some great stuff foam, and I got that piece of plywood for the bottom of the hull all joined together. So that's got to cure, and then it'll be ready to put on the top. So after I do this, that's going to be the end of this video, and then in the next video I'm going to put on this piece, plane the edges, shape the front, and then start fiberglassing the hull.